This right here is what I call me a conundrum. The bullet on the left is a Woodley weld core protected point soft nose bullet that is 160 grains. The bullet in the middle is a Hornady round nose interlock bullet that is also 160 grain. And the new green tip on the block is a Lapua Naturalis, if I am saying that right, that is only 140 grains. This is literally the longest ogive bullet that I have loaded to date. What I have done over here is gathered all of my 140 grain bullets, excluding the Hornady 143 grain ELDX, which is the red tip, and have lined them up according to their ogive and where they will sit on the lands of my rifle. And I really hope I can get this right. Focus on the green tip back there, which is the Lapua Naturalis, and watch how wide that ogive is going to hit my lands. This is going to be a fun load. I have two virgin Hornady brass that have never been fired before that I've gone ahead and pre-primed, and both of these have the exact same overall length. And what I'm going to do now is compare the IMR 4350 on the right and the H 4350 on the left. What is that right? I don't know if that's right on screen. Anyways, the IMR 4350 on this side and the H 4350 on this side. When I'm using 140 grain bullets, I'm usually using 42.1 grains of powder using the IMR 4350, and I use 41.5 grains of powder using the H 4350 to obtain roughly the same velocity with 140 grain bullet. What's interesting about the H 4350, it is a thinner granule but a longer stick, and the H 4350 is a shorter granule with a thicker stick. And I'll take a picture so you can see what I am talking about. So we'll get these loaded up, and I'm really curious to see which one will actually fill the case up the most. The one with the least density is the one I'm going to use. We're going to start with the IMR 4350, which is at 42 grains, and we'll just leave it right there. And make sure that's 42. And I'm not going to use the dump here. I'm just going to trickle this in. This is going to take forever, so I'll fast forward this in the video. There we go. 42 grains. It's hard to do this with one hand. Please don't tip over. Let's see if we get a visual inside of here. See, that is just at right about here. But I'm telling you, that bullet is going to go into here. So I need room for that to spread out a little bit. Now for the Hodgdon 4350. 41.5. I do prefer Hodgdon, but this powder is really hard to find. All you crazy Creedmoor loaders taking my powder from me. There we go. That was easy. 41.5. And I think just by visual inspection that actually looks a lot less dense. Let me put it in a case. Do this one-handed for you YouTubers. But I got this. Oh yeah, that's definitely a lot more room in there to wiggle around. So I'm going to go with the H 4350. Most of the 140 grain bullets that I've loaded for my 6.5 Creedmoor chamber sitting on the lands will be at the far end 2.873 and on the short end at 2.865. And you're supposed to drop it anywhere from a 10th to 20th off the lands there. But the biggest issue that I'm going to have using this ASC mag here is that the overall length that this measures that I could possibly load a bullet is at 2.825, and that's that measurement that you see right here. And it's probably going to be hard to show you doing this on video. And the longest bullet that I'm currently loading to date is my Berger 140 grain BLDH at 2.810, and I'm telling you, that's really skirting the tip of that metal frame there. So now what I'm going to be listening for is to see if there's any powder that's crushing when I load this bullet. With the comparison that I just saw, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but let's go ahead and check this out. And I've gone ahead and spun my die out a little bit farther than the length that I'm going to load it. So let's check this out. No crushing yet, but I know that's too far out right now. We are sitting at 2.785. Let me go ahead and drop that down.
765, 55, 45, 35.
Let's check this out right here. Listening. Slight crush. I mean, really slight crush. Not going to be an issue. You could hear that. Still shaking around in there. We're good. But I still think I've got to drop it just a hair more. 2.730, that's pretty close. Let's go down to 2.8, 2.725. Yeah, just a slight crush. There we go, 2.725. Listen, hear that? Still room for it to shake and bake in there. We got a hog killer. They say necessity is the mother of all invention, so I'm about to sight in. Lapua Naturalis at 11 o'clock at night. We've got a varmint way out there. We'll be okay. This is 16 Zion Zoom. I'm going to work in the middle, bottom part of the target and work my way up. And as long as they land within 1 MOA, we'll be good. Ooh, that's really, oh, I didn't adjust the sight. Hold on.
Go to setting 3. Exit.
Okay, now I've got this thing sighted in. This should be good. We'll just go dead center. And go a little bit high this time. That's awesome. All right. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Is 2 bullets in the hand warmer you got there. So it's definitely got the same 0. This is the first shot where I had the wrong 0, and I believe this is number 2 and then 3. But what is crazy is look how quickly the bullet expanded, 0.331, just by hitting the hand warmer. I'll show you the backside, completely blew it out. Let me go ahead and work through this real quickly. This is bullet 2 and 3. Look at the damage there. That is just nuts. I could just show you this side though. This is crazy. Look at that. Blew right through here. This is 2 and 3. Here's a review of the brass after last night's shot. If you look very carefully at the top, you can see that there is an extraction mark, and the primers are just slightly flat, which is typical of my 41.5 grains using the 140 grain bullets. So these will be good to go.
The lead-free Lapua Naturalis bullet is now designed to work even better than our previous versions, especially at extended ranges. Here we have a mushroomed 3rd generation Naturalis bullet, our newest design. We have managed to widen the operational velocity range of the bullet. We have not found a maximum velocity limit that will cause the bullet to fragment, but we have managed to lower the lowest operational velocity by as much as 30 meters per second. In other words, the new bullet design stops game effectively at even longer ranges than our previous designs.
According to my sources and research, the Lapua Naturalis has been discontinued. In America, we were blessed by the Second Amendment and common sense hunting regulations that run state by state. Many of the European countries, such as Norway, Sweden, Germany, and many others, share common hunting laws and regulations. One of the things that they regulate that may surprise you, because it definitely surprised me, is the regulation of bullets by animals. For example, if you are hunting a moose, stag, bear, fallow deer, or wild boar, many European countries require a minimum of 150 150 grain bullet that dumps 2,000 joules, or 1,475 foot-pounds of energy at 110 meters, or 110 yards. The lightest bullet weight you can use for these animals is a 139 grain bullet that produces 2,700 joules, or 1,900 foot-pounds of energy at 100 meters, or 110 yards. As a comparison, this is all you will find out of the Texas Parks and Wildlife page when it comes to hunting hogs. The most I could get out of my 6.5 Creedmoor using the 140 grain Lapua Naturalis is 213 joules, which is 600 joules below the required European minimal, and this is the reason why I believe the Lapua Naturalis has been discontinued. As I stated in another video, the Lapua Naturalis has the worst BC I have seen for a 264 bullet with a .210 G1 drag. The next bullet with the lowest BC is the Sierra 85 grain Varmatiers with a .225 G1 drag. At 200 yards, that's only 100 foot-pounds of energy difference between the 140 grain Lapuas and the 85 grain Varmatiers. I will never hunt hogs with the 85 grain Varmatiers. The Lapua Naturalis is a solid copper monolithic bullet intended to mushroom and push through the game. The Sierra Varmatiers is a fast expanded jacket shredding bullet. Hogs are starting to show up on different game cams. I'll be using the Sellers and Bellot 140 grain soft point bullets on my next hunt, so stay tuned for my next adventure.